Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Anna Luoto.
Okay, here we go. So good morning. It's very nice to be here, and I feel privileged to be able to open the Arctic Life seminar today. As you heard, my name is Anna Luoto, and I work at the Association for Finnish Work. During the next 20 minutes, I'll give you a brief intro to what we do as an association. Tell you very quickly about the design from Finland mark, and then I'll focus more deeply on 3 case studies, our member organizations that have used design, and design has played a crucial role in bringing success. Association for Finnish Work was set up to boost national identity and also promote Finnish work. We were set up at a time when we were still part of the Russian Grand Duchy in 1912. Our core mission still today is to promote Finnish work. I wanted to show you this poster. It's from 1945, and it's straight after the Second World War, and the idea of this campaign is to get all the Finns on board and work really hard, because we owed huge debts to Russia, Soviet Union after the war. The association has 1,900 members, and we do research. We organize events, campaigns, we do marketing, publications, and so on. We manage 3 brands. I believe most of you know this brand, which is the key flag. It promotes products and services that are made in Finland. The brand on that call is the social enterprise mark, very new brand, 1 year old. And the mark in the middle is the design from Finland mark, as you can see. There were 2 main reasons why the design from Finland mark was created. The first relates to value creation. There's been a lot of debates and some research into the subject. And a couple of years ago there was a research that showed that even if a product is made elsewhere, but if the design work, the actual brain power, is made and done in Finland, then most of the value stays in Finland. The second main reason for setting up this mark was the future of Finnish work. Obviously, being the Association for Finnish Work, this is a very crucial topic for us. The Finnish work has been changing for quite some time now, and it is evident that more and more design-based work is needed, and that really is the future of work. Hence, we created the design from Finland mark. The mark really wants to be an accelerator of Finnish design. I think it's a challenge, but that's the challenge we want to take. When we're talking about design, and I'm sure that we all know this, having is that design is an umbrella term, and there are lots of various ways of using design in companies' operations. The mark can be granted for companies that invest heavily in design in various ways. And what is the benefit that companies get from the mark? Well, they use it to brand themselves, they use it to profile themselves, and they also use it as a marketing tool, communications tool. But it's not only that, we collaborate with our members, so the mark in itself is a channel for collaboration. But let's get to the case studies now. The first is a story of Vitalis and a company called Valkoinen Risti, White Cross. And I think most Finns recognize this label. Who does? Yeah, I can see quite a lot of hands getting up. Yes. So Vitalis has existed for the past 70 years. And I remember it from my childhood. It was used as facial protection in cold weather. And a couple of years ago, the company wanted to rethink the strategy for Vitalis. They wanted to reach out for younger generations, and obviously the ultimate aim was to boost the sales. They also wanted to kind of expand the image of the cream so that it wouldn't be just cold protection, but a multi-purpose cream. They asked the designer, Paula Suhonen, to redesign Vitalis. Most of you might know Paula. She's the founder of Ivana Helsinki, which is a very successful Finnish clothing brand. Paula accepted and set to work. And she wanted to create something that is beautiful. It's an everyday object. You carry Vitalis in your pocket, in your bag. But she wanted to create something that would be carried even when the cream itself is finished. So it's something that is very beautiful and you want to keep on having even when there's no cream. So you can use it for other purposes. This is what Paula came up with. They created 4 different colors according to the season. That smaragd green over there is hot hit for this spring, so that's the newest color. They managed to reach out for younger generation. So when I talked to the company representative, they told me that now the majority customer base is young women, 15 to 30-year-old women, and that's exactly how they wanted it. They also got far more interest as a company. So now they perceived as an interesting and innovative company, and they actually have new design projects in the pipeline. Obviously, the most important thing is the figures. New Vitalis was launched in May 2011. Already during that first year, the sales went up by 35%. Then last year, the sales went up 58%. So that's quite a huge jump. And who knows what's going to happen this year. Probably the growth will continue. The next case is a company called Neljä Seppää, 4 Smiths. The company was set up in 2002 as a one-man carpentry. So the company designs, makes and sells kitchens. They also make furniture to public spaces, what they call project-based work. So 2 types of business, kitchens and public spaces. A couple of years ago, the company wanted to collaborate with the design agency. They didn't want to just redesign their websites or their business cards or one product, but they really wanted to renew the entire business. So what did they do? That's some of the pictures of their style. They started off with a competitor analysis. After that, they went on to redraft their whole business strategy. They went through their product concepts, their production line. They redesigned some of their components. Then they had a look at the supply chain, did necessary changes in that, and moved on to financial planning. They sharpened and crystallized their vision and objectives. And after that work, they created a new marketing plan for the company. And it was only after all this work that they started to redesign their graphic identity and new name. And as icing on the cake, the design agency was taken in as a business partner in the company. So, all in all, the results. Obviously, the design is now in the DNA of the company. It's not a project, it's ongoing work that is very deeply ingrained in every single angle of the operations. There was a very sharp strategic change in business. Previously, 80% of their business came from that project work, i.e. making furniture for public spaces, and 20% came from kitchens. After the design work, the figure swapped. So now the majority of business comes from designing and selling kitchens, and obviously that's far better position for their brand. It makes it far stronger to be in that market and be a very important player in that market. And then the most important figures, annual revenue, of course. Before the design work started, the annual revenue had got a bit stuck in around 2,000 euros. Last year, the revenue had grown to 300,000 euros. And this year, they are expecting that they will reach 400,000 euros, which basically would double the size of the business. So that is quite impressive, I believe. Third case. This is slightly different from the first two ones. The first two ones were companies that were using design to reach their competitive edge. This case shows how a design agency can help companies to understand what they can actually give and offer. And I think that most of us, we recognize and have either heard or been part of these discussions where design agencies say that, well, companies are not using our full potential. We could do so much more. We could be really part of the business, not just designing fancy business cards. And then companies in turn might say that, well, I don't know what we can get from you other than nice business cards. That what is it what you are talking about? And then design reform decided to create a service which is called Design for Success, a service that would basically articulate and break down the kind of design service that they can offer. These are some of the products that Design Reform has designed. So the core of their business is in industrial design, but obviously they offer a vast range of design services, as most design agencies do. But the actual service, Design for Success, it consists of 6 steps. The first step is design analysis. They analyze the product, the service, the entire operating environment, organizational culture. So it's a very, very holistic approach. After the analysis, they create a design strategy. This can be prioritizing actions. So basically deciding of all these things, what are we going to do? What is needed most urgently? Then the third step is getting the strategy off the ground. It can be setting up teams, motivating people, talking with leaders, how to lead the design project, etc., etc. Then the fourth step is the actual project work, the actual sort of hands-on work itself. Then the fifth step is launch of the results, whether it's a new product, whether it's a new service, how it can be launched most effectively. It can be creating a new toolkit, it can be effective communications, or it can be attending trade shows. And then the final step is feedback and follow-up. What to do next? What should be done next in order to keep the ball rolling? I talked to Design Reform and asked how has this approach worked? And they said that it's been very successful, and the most important thing here is that they've got new customers from those companies that have never ever used design before. And I think this is something that we really need, that it's always easy to talk to a company who's already using design in one way or another, but actually getting a new company on board, getting them understand through this very articulated approach what is that they can offer, that's crucial. And that's a big step, almost a leap forward in the field of design. So just to conclude and leave you with a few thoughts, I think it's evident that design plays a key role in creating success. When seeking competitive edge, we definitely should not overlook design. It feels that most of the time we are seeking greater efficiencies, whereas we should be seeking greater creativity. And that is what makes us winners in the long run. And then third, I think we need to start thinking design more as a tool, as an everyday tool, not just an optional, do I really need this luxury type of service, but using design as a tool, as a way of thinking, as a way of operating. Design can steer processes, it can lead projects. It can be really a very powerful tool, both for leadership and management. And I think that this is the question of make it or break it. And I truly believe that design can make it. And that's why we should be using it far more than we are using now. That's what makes us successful now and in the future. Thank you.